Hi, and welcome back to Hook Eat Up. For the month of August, we're focusing on this Mediterranean theme, and for this week's recipe, we're going to be making a couscous salad. Now this couscous salad can be eaten on its own, or you can use it as a side dish to accompany grilled meats, fish, or any of your favorite Mediterranean mains. Now let's get into it. Now this recipe is more about your prep work and assembly than it is about cooking. The only ingredient that you need to cook for this dish is the couscous. Now a lot of people think couscous is a grain. It's not. Couscous is really just a boiled pasta. Now for this recipe, you're gonna need 2 cups of cooked couscous. I didn't do the cooking for this episode because it's such a basic thing. It's kind of like cooking rice. I didn't feel that it was necessary. You can watch another video. I even hook somebody else up by showing a video on how to prepare couscous. You can follow that and you'll get an idea of how to do it. So I have 2 cups of that. I have a piece of feta cheese, a quarter of a red onion, 1 lemon, a couple sprigs of fresh dill, about half a cup of diced cucumbers with the seeds out. Now I use about half of a cucumber to get that amount. I used about 1/3 of a red bell pepper, and I also diced that. That came out to about a little bit more than 1/4 of a cup. I have 1/3 of a cup of golden raisins and 1/3 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Now, like I said, this recipe is all about the assembly. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spoon in this couscous directly into the bowl. Now I'm just breaking this up so that all the kernels are nicely separated, or the grains of couscous. Make sure that it's nice and loose. I even get in there with my hand and just break up all that couscous so it's like individually grained there. I want it to be nice and loose. And when you cook your couscous, you're gonna cook it with a little bit of olive oil, and that's gonna even help to keep it separated. Next thing I'm gonna do is dice up this onion. Dice this up. Now that I have my onions all diced, first into the couscous bowl. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut up this feta. Now once again, 1/4 inch thickness all the way through. Another 1/4 inch all the way through. And one more time. I'm gonna have about 3/4 inch cubes of feta. And then what I'm gonna do is cut these into individual strips and then cube them some more. Take that, it's about half a cup's worth to maybe 3/4 a cup. Just drop that right in. A nice cheese. Next thing I'm gonna dice up, I'm gonna grab my dill. I'm gonna cut off the stems. That way I'm just left with the leafy portion. We're just gonna coarsely chop this. Now go with fresh dill, it's more fragrant, packs more flavor, but if you only have dry dill, use what you got. But fresh dill is definitely the way to go. It's gonna make about a tablespoon and a half of fresh dill. Just drop that into the couscous bowl. Now next thing, you just toss in your peppers, toss in your cucumbers, toss in the raisins, final thing I'm going to toss in is just the olive oil. I'm going to spread that throughout. And next is the lemon juice. So I'm going to grab my juicer. Drop 1 lemon in. Hopefully it's not too big. There we go, it fits nice and snug. We're going to juice 1/2 of a lemon to start. And this gives it, you know, that tartness that you would expect out of a vinaigrette or an oil, out of a vinaigrette. without adding the vinegar. I think the lemon is a much more mild taste, but it does add that acidity that you would associate with the salad. Good stir, get everything nice and combined. Now the next thing I'm going to do is just salt and pepper this to taste. This is entirely up to you as to how much salt and pepper you want. I would recommend tasting it as you go. Good amount of salt and pepper. Give it a stir. Again, just to get those flavors combined. And what's really cool is that these raisins add just a sweet touch, and it really helps to tie in all the flavors. Just gonna take a taste of this. Now I'm not tasting with the mixing spoon, because that's already loaded with salt. And the salt and pepper mix is just right. Has just the right amount of acidity, but I want it to have just a slightly sweeter touch. So I'm gonna get some honey and drizzle on some honey. Not too much, just a little bit to take the edge off of the acid. Again, give that another stir. I'm gonna plate this. Get my placing mat out. I'm going to use a larger serving bowl. Now I didn't prepare this in the bowl just because all the dill would get caught on the side just like this. That would kind of look gross for your final presentation. So I'm just going to transfer this to this bowl here. Scoop that in. And however it kind of folds in is the way that it's going to stay. And there you have it, a couscous salad with raisins, feta cheese, and fresh dill. Now if you've liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe and leave your comments below on how you would use this dish. Thank you for joining me at Hook Eat Up. Enjoy.